What's up everybody, this is Jack from Crypto49er bringing you on my journey into cryptocurrency. So today I want to talk to you guys about Bitcoin and just the market overall, because for the month of January, the entire month of January, Bitcoin lost another, 30 something percent from the high of 17,000 down to like 10,000 right now. As you can see, Bitcoin is listed on CoinMarketCap at $10,130, but it really isn't that price, because if you look at it, if you look at the details of Bitcoin, that's just the average price. If you scroll down to the market section here, you can see that on Kraken it's trading below 10,000 already, and on a few other platforms, on Bittrex, on some pairs it's trading below 10,000, same thing for Binance. So you can see that Bitcoin is falling, and it's already lost the foothold of 10,000. Even though it still says it technically that we're at 10,000, it has lost that foothold. And I just don't think that it's going to hold that foothold for much longer. I mean, it really depends, but the main thing is the news, right? The more news, the more exciting news, the more positive news we have for Bitcoin, the more likely that it will hold up. But I just haven't seen it happen for the month of January, and I don't think it's going to happen for the month of February, at least not the beginning. I mean, who knows, maybe by the end of the month of February we'll see something, but right now, I really believe that Bitcoin will fall. There's a good chance that Bitcoin will fall to $8,000. So this is the chart right now. All I have up top is the Mayer multiple. I used the Mayer multiple in the past to justify when I should buy into Bitcoin. So right now the Mayer multiple is pretty low, is at 1.28. So basically Bitcoin is very cheap right now according to the Mayer multiple. If you guys want to know more about the Mayer multiple, I have a video explaining it and I'll include it into the link down below. But anything under 2.4x is a pretty good price. Anything under 1.5x is an excellent price. And right now we're talking about 1.25x. So it's a good time to buy, but I know for most everyone have, like, unless you're really new, this is your first video you're watching about cryptocurrency today, you probably have already invested a lot into Bitcoin and you can't really buy more into it. But for people that can buy into it, I definitely suggest buying small chunks. I mean, I'm not your financial advisor again. I can't be giving you financial advice, but as entertainment purposes wise, I can say that, you know, buy into it, but not everything at once. Like, I personally will still buy a little bit more into it. Probably today I'll buy a little bit more into it. I'm seeing right now on the charts for Coinbase. This is the Coinbase chart. So it's already falling again, back down below 10,000. I just don't think that Bitcoin can hold that position. So I'll probably buy a little bit into it today and buy a little bit more if it falls a little bit more, so on and so forth. I really do believe that Bitcoin is going to fall to $8,000. And it really comes down to the fact that there's just no good news for Bitcoin. But since there's no way for me to go into the future and bring you the news of the future, what I can do is cover the whole entire month of January and show you what the bad news have done and what the good news and bad news have done to Bitcoin for the month of January, and to show you how the news have affected Bitcoin overall. So, I mean, I have said it many times. Technical analysis by reading charts won't predict the price of how much Bitcoin can go up, but it definitely can predict how much it can fall, as long as there's no more additional bad news. So right now, my prediction is, given that there's no more additional bad news, Bitcoin will take the stairs. It won't take the elevator down. It will take the stairs down towards $8,000. Whether it hit 8,000 or not depends on whether or not we actually get more good news than bad news in the month of February. But let me go to Cointelegraph here. I personally don't really like Cointelegraph that much. I love that their artworks are great, but the fact is they break a lot of news, but sometimes the news that they break is not accurate. So usually I would take it as a grain of salt when I read from Cointelegraph. But since this is news that has happened from the past, from this whole entire month of January, all these news are pretty much accurate. And I do know that Cointelegraph, at least they do pull the stories if they find that it is inaccurate. And the one other reason why I use Cointelegraph is because I'm actually able to pull back stories from all the way back to January 1st, which I wasn't able to do on CoinDesk, which is the other major competing news site for cryptocurrencies. So, as you can see, I was able to load up all these stories. I'm able to go all the way back down to January 1st. And let's just go through all the news that has happened in January and what has caused Bitcoin to fall from 17,000 in the highs all the way down to 10,000 right now and continue to fall. But since Cointelegraph covers so much news over the month, I'm not going to cover every single story. And I do only believe that certain stories will have more effect than others. There are 3 types of stories I think will have a lot of effect on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency overall. And the 3 are government regulations, investments into cryptocurrency, and advertisement campaigns, which is a little vague, but I'll explain that in a bit. But there's 3 types of stories that I don't think has any long-term effect for Bitcoin overall. It might like shock the system and knock the prices down for a day or 2, but really doesn't have long-term effects. So the 3 that I don't think have much effect on cryptocurrency long-term prices wise is hacks, altcoin news, and ICOs. So the first story that I thought had an effect on Bitcoin was a positive news actually, was Peter Thiel investing in millions into Bitcoin, and it pushed the market upwards. The next one actually is a bad story. The next one's actually on January 5th, when Bitcoin miners could face power restrictions in China. So that's when you first hear government regulations. It only took 5 days for the government trying to put some regulation onto Bitcoin. So that's not good news already. And on January 6th was pretty good when Zuckerberg eyeing out power of cryptocurrency. So the CEO of the biggest social network in the world was actually looking into cryptocurrency. So it's actually good news. So and then on January 7th, NYSE exchange moves on Bitcoin ETFs. So they're looking to add a number of Bitcoin ETFs onto the Orca stock exchange. So that's also good news. But after that, it's bad news all the way because South Korea gets into the whole mess. South Korea banks gets flash probed in cryptocurrency exchange ties. And then CoinMarketCap removes South Korea exchanges. That was pretty bad because all of a sudden you guys were asking me, well, why did everything drop in that day? I couldn't tell you at first, and I realized, oh wait, CoinMarketCap actually removed all the South Korean exchanges from the calculations from the averages, and that's why everything tanked by like 10% because of that. And then South Korea continued to affect the whole entire month of January, just because after that we're looking at January 11th when nothing finalized. South Korea government ministries diverge over crypto ban proposal. That's when people started to hear news that South Korea could actually ban cryptocurrencies overall. So given how much money is put into cryptocurrency in South Korea, that is going to be a huge shock to the system if they actually ban cryptocurrencies in South Korea. Considering the fact that the reason why China, the ban didn't have, I mean it had a dramatic effect too. But the thing was with China, at least that wasn't the first time banning it. I think that was the second time, so that's why it didn't have a dramatic effect. But this one, just even them talking about it in South Korea, that made big news on the market. And then on January 12th, official no currency trading ban in South Korea, government says. So now there's just a whole back and forth. People still didn't know what's going on. They're just still hearing news from South Korea saying, oh, is there a ban? Right now they say no ban? Okay. And on the 15th, we're getting more news again from South Korea. South Korea clarifies position on cryptocurrency amidst confusion in mainstream media. So there was just so much news from the mainstream media that people didn't know what's going on, and I think that's where it's really getting people freaking out that they are going to ban crypto in South Korea. And that's when the prices truly started falling. And you see Bitcoin like around 15 right here, started to go downhill very quickly. So the more news that there were from Korea, the worse it got. And then on January 17, that's when everything, at that point it was already, everything was in the red. So you can see like, get them while they're cheap. 2-day crypto market slump offered steep discounts. That was a pretty good purchase day, but right now to say pretty much everything is falling close to that point again. So it was 10,000 around that point when it all fell down, and then now we're getting back down to that point. So it's not like we missed that sale because there's another sale right now. And then on January 18, we got another FUD from JP Morgan. So another FUD string to JP Morgan Bow. So this is where Mike Bell from JP Morgan said that governments will ban cryptocurrency out of existence. That's where the FUD continued. So on January, so we waited a few days until January 22nd until we got anything that's really something that affects cryptocurrency, and that's the fact that South Korea on January 22nd, South Korea to tax crypto exchanges 24%. In line with existing tax policy. That really doesn't affect us because they're only taxing cryptocurrency exchanges, but it does affect us overall and affects cryptocurrency overall because it just again shows that it's very easy for government to put any type of regulation onto any part of cryptocurrency, even onto the exchanges by taxing them. So it's like, what I don't understand, the article they mentioned like, haven't these exchanges been paying taxes in previous years? I guess the answer is no. So that's the reason why they haven't been taxed. But it's very likely that having this regulation on top of it is really just bad news for the market overall. And you know how it goes. If the exchanges get taxed, that just means that they'll be passing on to the expenses onto the end user, which is us. So then some good news finally showing up, like on January 25th, where Robinhood mobile app to launch zero-fee crypto trading in February. So that's the good news. There's more investments coming in for cryptocurrency. That sounds great. But the problem is, this is going to happen in February, so it doesn't really affect the price right now. And then now we go all the way up to January 30th, and then we see that Samsung's getting into mining operations. They're making ASICs chips. They're going to form a partnership with TSMC to make ASICs chips so that we can have those ASIC miners. So that's good news because we have someone as big as Samsung actually entering into the crypto mining market. The bad news is probably for Nvidia, obviously. The people that own Nvidia stocks, that's probably bad news. But overall, it's a good news for cryptocurrency. But again, this is one of those news that doesn't have an immediate effect on cryptocurrency other than just the announcement. The actual manufacturing process takes probably 6 to 12 months for to have these chips come out. And then after that, there's more strings of bad news like Bitfinex, Tether gets subpoenaed from US regulators. That's one thing that we still have to find out because Tether is it's essentially, it could be a total scam where they're just printing out money. There's no guarantee, but I think it's very possible. But that's why I don't own any Tethers, and I don't really believe in that cryptocurrency overall. And then the bad news right after that is Facebook bans cryptocurrency ICO ads because of deceptive promotional practices. So this is where they were banning it mostly because I'm sure of the BitConnect stuff. A lot of the BitConnect promoters or former promoters were putting on tons of ads onto Facebook, and that's why Facebook is banning all cryptocurrency ads, even the ones from James Altucher. So this is really bad news overall because it's really limiting how people get information about cryptocurrency. But we'll end it with a little bit of good news in January, and is that major Japanese chat app Line to open crypto exchange for its 200 million monthly users. I mean, Japan is really the only one to have any positive signs for cryptocurrency right now, unlike the South Korean government, the Chinese government, and the US government too, in a sense, because they are at best neutral to negative overall. And that's why I think that for the month of February, if we don't hear any more good news, we're going to have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency taking the stairs downwards toward 8,000. And that's what we'll head to. But if we actually don't hear any really good positive news, and what do I consider positive news? I think at this point it has to be like a government support of Bitcoin. That's really the only true news that can actually help bring Bitcoin out of this abyss. Because the smaller news, like investment by people, by companies, by firms, I just don't think it's going to be able to push Bitcoin back up to even 15,000 at this point. Really, it comes down to having some positive news from governments that actually will positively support cryptocurrency for it to actually get back up to 15,000. At least that's my belief. Who knows? I mean, some people believe that this is just the month of January and we already have seen January slump for the last 4 years. It's entirely possible. But again, I truly believe that it's all about the news, and if there's no good news, Bitcoin is just going to continue to fall. So that's my video for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for post notifications. If it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.